This isn't gonna get old, ever.
This week, the solar gets connected to the battery and the van gets a ply makeover.
The cold weather is back, the fur's out, the hat's back on, and I'm gonna do some jigsawing while Dad's fixing the wires.
Using this piece of ply that I'd cut earlier, I was making the hole for the window in the back of the van. So I drilled holes through it to start with so I could get the jigsaw through, and I was following a template that I'd drawn on pencil, so it was a fairly simple process. Didn't take too long.
So yes, it seems to be charging. We have 56 volts.
And
if
it's
I go
proper
on
cloudy.
here,
It's proper cloudy.
we have nearly 14 volts coming out of there.
Wow. We had a bit of a moment there because I downloaded the app for the battery and it wouldn't pick up a battery. And then before Dad's connected the solar panels to it, he tried to check it and he was like, Beck, there's no voltage, it's flat. And I had a bit of a panic because if you let lithiums go flat, they can kind of die, can't they? It's been sat for a few months. I've had it for a few months. But anyway, he's attached the solar and it seems to be charging, so.
Okay.
So these here are the positives. So we've got the Oxby and the Truma.
Yes.
So we've got 12. Are they going to all be different circuits?
Yes.
Right. And then the negative, the black wires go
All
at the
the black
top.
ones are here. So
the
this
negative
black wire here
Yeah.
comes to this terminal block here,
Yeah.
the big terminal block, which this wire here is the negative for the battery.
The battery.
And
okay.
this positive here
Yeah.
is the positive for the battery,
Yeah.
which then goes through this,
Through another one of those
through
switches.
another one of these switches
Yeah.
into here,
Okay.
right? So this is the battery charger.
Yeah.
So these two here, one of them is from the vehicle battery,
Yeah.
which I've connected to the ground here, because vehicle batteries use ground.
Yeah.
And the other one connects to here,
Yeah. Which goes into the battery.
which goes into the battery.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then this one, this red one here is the vehicle battery.
Yeah.
This blue one here tells this that the engine's running.
To charge it.
So this vehicle battery then, when the engine's running, will charge out of here,
Yeah.
out of this one,
Yeah.
through here, through here, through here to charge your battery.
Charge the battery. Yeah.
Yeah. And the number 5, this one,
Yeah.
is the output from the battery charger. Slightly different. Normally you would run from here, but as this can do it, this sends a supply to all your auxiliary units,
To the switch. Okay.
all your power.
Yeah.
And this one here is your charging supply from your solar.
Yeah. Okay.
So if the sun's shining, this will charge the battery.
Yeah.
If the engine's running, this will charge
Yeah.
the battery. This 240 volts plugged down here.
Is that for the orange cable?
This will charge. If you plug in, this will charge
Yeah.
the battery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the orange cable there is for the electric hookup, isn't it?
The orange is from here.
Yeah.
One of these is Truma. One of these is your sockets.
Yeah.
And we'll connect this into the 220 distribution unit as well.
And you may see the MPPT charger back. We actually did give that back as a refund because we realised the NDS power box does the job of the MPPT charger. However, that has Bluetooth for me to check if things are charging. This does not. So one of you lovely lot pointed out that we don't need that, so I got a refund, and then I realised that actually no, we want it back because I want to be able to see if I can charge.
Yeah, the company advised us to have it.
Yes.
And also it also converts it to 28 volts.
Yeah.
For this
For
to
that,
charge.
yeah. So we've ended up keeping that in anyway because that means I can sort of check what my solar's doing, even though it's a bit redundant.
So we've got that charging. It's charging the battery. Here is the little interface for KS Energy. So we've got 13.45 volts and 3.9 amps, which is going up because we've just got it charging. It says it's charging there. It's got the temperature, the cycle life, up to 5,000 cycles. So we're on 81%. Capacity 162 amps. Oh, that's going up. Status charging, health perfect. Nice one. These are the different cells in the battery. Part of the reason why I went for this one is because if there's a problem and one of the cells goes, you can actually just replace an individual cell, not the whole battery, which I thought was pretty cool and something others don't offer. And this is the Victron. So considering how horribly cloudy it is, I'm still getting 50 watts coming through. Yeah, 50 volts, there you go, 50 volts, 1 amp, 3.5 current. We've got electrics, thanks so much, Dad. The aux beams. The aux beams, are they, does it work? Yes. Oh, turn it on again. Flick the switch. On. Yes. Off. Nice. Oh, no. Come on.
Ceiling lights.
Oh, my word. I'm so excited right now. Oh, they look amazing.
They do, don't they?
They look amazing.
Right, I'm going to get the crimp. I'm going to crimp that and connect it in properly
All right, okay.
before we finish.
Okay, and then that's it.
Yeah.
All right. I am so chuffed. I'm so chuffed. It's charging. It's charging. Free electricity. I'm so giddy. I'm so giddy right now. Where's the light? Ceiling light. I'm more than happy. It's absolutely wonderful. Good day. Welcome to my fully lit van. New day. This is what we look like. I've just gone to spend 70 quid on some wood. 1/2x2 and a little 2x1. Look how neat all of that looks. And we are on float setting, which means this bad boy is fully charged. It topped up 470 watts yesterday, just from my solar. Amazing. But what we're doing today is hopefully we're going to get the rest of this side boarded off. So this is the last piece. So I've done that bit at the bottom. This piece I've got in my hand fills this section here. That piece covers the window, and we've got the rest of the cladding to bring the roof round to meet them. I would love to have this side boarded off by the end of the day. Get one side done, then we'll move on to this side tomorrow, and hopefully have the entire van boarded out, ready for the proper building work. I'm getting so comfortable with power tools now.
I started work myself this morning because Dad had a prior commitment, but he does come to join me later. So the first job was to drill pilot holes through so I could attach the wood battens to the wall, and this is what the ply attaches into. And every different section requires a different size piece of wood because obviously nothing is flat. So I did this and got the wooden battens attached at the top and the bottom, and then I had to use this tool to drill out a hole for the two 240 volt wires to come through. That's my kitchen plug. So I did that, and then I attached the board at the bottom, and I'd also drilled a smaller hole towards the top to allow for the LED kitchen lights to come through as well. So got that all connected, and that was fine, and had to move on to the back of the window here. Same process. I think it was a 2x1 in the middle and a 1/2x2 at the end, and just pilot hole through those, attach those to the van with some screws, and then we just attach the ply to that. Fairly simple. Dad has joined me now, and we move on to the window frame.
using silicone as a base, we add in some wood to make a frame. And this adds as an extra support for the window ledge as well that we're going to add in. It means we can attach it to something. And we're using a pressure technique, so the top one is actually going to hold all the others in place.
We've got 1/2 inch by 2 inches on the bottom and on each side. And on the top we've put in a 2 by 1.
Next up, we have the bed alcoves, and these needed to come up about 1/2 inch so we could get an edge flat and level.
So we're going to edge this gap, this side gap here underneath. We're going to box that in.
Using a glue and nail technique, we attached the ply to the frame that we'd made. And we use this for the base and the left hand side and the right hand side. But on the upper side we used screws because, you know, gravity. And then I noticed that there was still a slight gap behind, and we decided to silicone that in as well to stop any other rattles before moving on to the side where we hit a slight snag.
It fits. So we'd cut the old one, which has a much bigger curve in it, and then do you want to take it out, Dad, and I'll show them. So this was like the curvature of the wall. Then we added in this wooden batten to secure it behind, and what that actually did was pull it out. The cutout that we'd made then was far too small. Oh, there's some blood from Dad. Yeah, so we had to cut another one. So we cut another one. Fits. Put it in. Bit of glue. Bit of glue. Pop it in, and that is my bed. Cornered off.
To finish off, we had to box in the left hand side, and that was that alcove and wall complete.
And we're finished for today. Not bad, eh? That's the left side pretty much all boxed in. We have to box in the window up there, but the silicone hasn't dried yet, so we're having to leave that one. And it's a good job we've had the battery put in because we needed the lights today. Let's see what we've done then. So I added that one in. We've put the 240 volts through. That's the kitchen lights underneath the cupboards. Kitchen LEDs. And we've boxed in the bed. Which just looks awesome. So we've added in wooden battens to do the same we've done here with the ply. That's also going to get covered off, so you know we're going to add ply around the edges, so that finishes that off nicely. Tomorrow we're going to do the same with this side. Hopefully get that window boxed in and the rest of the ply on. I'll be very happy if I can get the rest of the ply on. I think it will make a huge difference. Things will start looking neat, won't they, Pops?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. We've just checked the battery because we've had the lights on all day. Well, what time did I start?
Yeah,
right,
6 hours.
So we've had the lights on for 6 hours. It's a really rainy day, there's zero sun. And so we just checked the battery because it says it's on float, which basically means that it's charged and it just trickles it in. And I'll put the screenshot on here, but I still have 199.74 amps. So I think I've made some cracking decisions with my electric. That's amazing, isn't it? 5 lights. And it's still only on float. So when it's on bulk, it's going to chuck as much as it can in the battery because it needs charging. When it's on absorption, it just sends, you know, an average amount. And when it's on float, it means it's full, but it'll just trickle it in. We've added this strap with some hooks just to secure it while I'm driving so it doesn't rock over anywhere. Dad's got to then add the inverter, haven't you? And then that's that bit done.
The inverter, and then we put this side on. We put in the AC electrics on the vertical panel on the DC.
Yeah. So that's why we have to ply this wall for him to finish, because he needs to attach more things, like he's done with the Victron. He needs to attach more things to that wall. The rain has gone. The sunshine is back. We're going to ply the other side of the van today.
So this ply is actually the same ply that was in the van when I bought it. I've just been storing it for a few months because I knew it'd come in handy because it already had those sections cut out of it. But this required a little bit of tweaking because we've added wires and things to get it right. So you can see there we've clamped it and we're actually drawing out where the window is because we want to use this single piece. So I just jigsaw out where the window's going and then we're going to fit that back on the van.
We got the oxygen lights on. Just curious to see how much power they draw, so we're keeping them on for a few hours to see how much it drains the battery. Dad's just showing one of his mates what we're doing, and then we'll put this piece of ply on where the window should go.
After we'd successfully cut out the window side, we moved to the other end of the ply because there is a wooden batten where we attach my bed fixings to. So we needed to cut out a section for that so the ply would sit flush to the wall. Then above that there was a smaller cutout for the bed alcove. So then we had to come back and do that as well. But then it fit perfectly.
Back, forth, up, down, left, right, trying to figure it out. We've realised we just need to add a little hole here for the wires. These are my underbed USB lights. So this wire has to sort of run under there, but there isn't a gap through this metal. So Dad's just drilled a hole here. We're going to make it bigger, put one of those grommets in it again. Cheese grommet! And then feed the wires through and run them underneath there, which will come on underneath the cupboards above my bed.
Just like on the other side, we had to cut and attach wooden battens to the metal frame of the van to make sure the ply would sit flush. Now this was probably the trickiest panel because we've got a really big strut next to the window and also, as you've seen, lots of different cutouts on it. But we got there and we just screwed that in place before trying to work out how to use this piece of ply to go across the window. We had to cut the massive hole out of it basically, and it was going to make the ply very fragile. So what we decided to do was clamp it with a piece of wood on both sides to hopefully stop it from breaking. And then it needed a little cutout and that went in perfectly.
Hey, she's coming on, isn't she? We've just clamped that there because we need a break. We're going to have some lunch now. So we had to cut out a little gap so the wires can come through. And then we need to build a frame for the window and a frame for the bed to box that one in again. We have decided to attach not only a USB here, but also a 12-volt cigarette charger, which look like this. So there's your cigarette one, there's your USBs, and the casings are like this. And what we have discovered is that they fit perfectly in this little gap here. So what Dad's gonna do is, as we create a shelf for here to box the window in, he's going to put both ports here. So when I'm sat down in my little corner sofa, I've got a cigarette one. This is to charge my laptop. So this is another way. Instead of using 240 volts, I do have plugs, but this is just another alternative. One of those USB ports, and then they're fine and close for my laptop, and while I'm working I can sit and they're going to be right there.
After Dad had added in the wires for the cigarette lighter, we then used the same process of boarding it off and attached the screws to secure the ply down. Now, the base of this window frame was a little bit of a challenge. You'll see that in a second. There was a lot of to-in and fro-in, and I actually dropped a piece of wood behind it, so we had to undo it all to take it out, to get it back out, to put it all back on again, which was fun. But as usual, we got there.
I have a plied out van. We need to do the window frames. I just thought I'd show you, because the van, you know, things aren't square. This is what we've had to do to get this fitted properly. So this strut in the van sticks out more than any other. So this side of the window was further out than that side. So it's sort of on a bit of a wonk coming out. And this is how we've sorted that problem. We've got 2 bits of wood here to secure it. That goes down to 1 and a tiny bit of ply, and then down to 1. And that just makes it nice and secure. What Pops is going to do now is we're going to fit the reading light. We liked these so much, I bought another one to go here. So we're going to fix that now. The positions one gets in for YouTube content. Ta-da! And that's in. Super quick. So he's just going to get the right fuse now, and then we'll try it, make sure it works.
Because we've just connected the reading light up and we've got no fuse in, it's saying that the fuse has blown. So when we put this in, we put a new fuse in.
It's already come on.
The light will come on.
It's just come on. It's just come on. Next job, we're going to make the frame for this window. Dad's cut out a section where those USB and 12 volt battery chargers are going. We used a combination of glue and screws this time to fix the batten to the bottom of the window. And on the left hand side I added a piece of 1/2x2 to start with in between the ply and the metal of the van, just to give it a bit more stability because it was quite vulnerable. And then on the right hand side the joist needed a bit of clamping to get in because curvature of the van and all that. And on the left hand side it went in fine, but at the top we came into another problem. Here we are. Frame in and a space for the plugs. We've got both left and right and the bottom one in, which are lovely. The issue we're having now is this top piece. Turn the camera around so you can see. There's quite a bit of a gap, and if we did the same thing and just added one of these onto it, it moves a lot, and I don't like that. So what Dad's just suggested is, with the piece of wood that we're going to use to stabilise it, if we put an L bracket on the wood like that, and then on this top bit it's going to be resting against the metal of the van, and we're going to drill up there. So the bracket will sit against this and then with the back to the wood, so it just adds that extra bit of sturdiness. Next up we have to create the borders or the frame for the window and finish boxing that in. So using the piece that we'd actually cut out, because it was perfectly cut already to the size we needed, I just jigsawed out the pieces for the left and the right. And then on the base, Dad used a circular cutter to mark out where the USB and the charger would go, and then using his rollator made it all nice and smooth for them. 12 volt. And USB. Could I be a pain and can I have them the other way around? Yeah, thanks. Look at those beauties. After Dad got those wired in, we used glue and nails to hammer down the base. The back of this piece of wood was resting on the lip of the window as well, which gave it extra support. And then we repeated the process on all 4 sides. And my window's boxed in! Yay! Here they are, look. USB, 12 volt, cigarette. And we have one boxed in window. She looks cool, doesn't she? Well, the whole van looks cool now. Check her out. I mean, ignore the mess in her, but you get the idea. So we're bringing the roof down, remember? So we're going to come meet the top of all the ply you can see. It's going to be met with cladding. So a couple of things to finish off. We've got the frame around this window, and we need to box in this side of the bed. But I actually need to put silicone on the back of that. I did it on this side, but we didn't do it on that side, and it has made a difference. So I'm going to take that off, add the silicone on it, and get a weight attached to it to keep it stuck to the wall, and then that will dry tomorrow so we can finish off that. And this one, you're going to plug something in.
Right.
See if that charges.
Yeah.
That's charging. Wow. Yeah? Are we doing all of them? Yep. Full house, Dad.
Good.
Everything's working. That's amazing. So does that mean because you've added those in, you're able to close that other
Yeah, we've got 2
circuit?
more circuits in there.
Brilliant. So we don't have
That
the red
one
light
and
anymore.
that one.
Excellent.
So that's your USB and that one's
Yeah.
your cigarette lighter.
Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use my label maker and I'm going to mark what these are. Yeah. Look at
another day's hard graft done.
Have you seen this? I've got a boarded out one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out.